So the Fever are playing in Iowa, and the game sold out in literally, like, it didn't matter how long it took to sell out, you couldn't even get in. If you were there...
In a season filled with unexpected turns and record-breaking moments, one name has dominated every headline and every highlight reel: Caitlin Clark. The atmosphere is nothing short of electric whenever she steps on the court. It seems as if the very air in arenas like Carver Hawkeye and other iconic venues vibrates with anticipation and raw energy. Fans who once believed that the magic of college days would fade the moment a star entered the professional arena have been proven spectacularly wrong. Caitlin has turned mere exhibitions into full-blown cultural events, an unprecedented transformation in women's basketball.
Fans have filed in. The building is jam-packed.
Caitlin Clark for Indiana, who has been terrific, the #1 overall pick, who has been packing buildings all across.
Imagine arriving at a game in Iowa where every seat is filled, every eye is fixed on the court, and the roar of the crowd crescendos into a palpable force. This isn't just a typical game day. It's a phenomenon that defies all expectations. As the Indiana Fever take the floor, the buzz isn't centered solely on the score or the plays, it's centered on the sheer magnetism of Caitlin Clark. Ticket sales went off the charts, disappearing faster than any limited edition sneaker drop. In fact, the demand was so overwhelming that fans were reportedly willing to pay upwards of $4,400 per ticket, even for what was meant to be a preseason exhibition. Long lines, frantic social media updates, and the constant hum of excitement around the arena marked a departure from the norm.
Before that are now falling in love with maybe the Fever or other teams they watch or other players they watch, and for myself to be a part of that, like it's super special, and it kind of takes your breath away at points.
What was once a simple preseason game became a veritable festival, a testament to how one player's presence can redefine what it means to attend a basketball game. Standing inside the jam-packed building, you could almost feel history being made. The arena, once known primarily for routine college matchups, had transformed overnight into a battleground of energy, ambition, and passion. The fact that every seat was sold out sometimes in mere moments after the ticket release underscores an undeniable truth. Caitlin Clark's appeal is far beyond the confines of her athletic performance. It's an amalgamation of charisma, skill, and an almost mythical ability to captivate an audience. For years, skeptics and pundits alike whispered that the overwhelming hype surrounding Caitlin Clark would be short-lived. They argued that her popularity was merely a remnant of her college days, a bubble that would burst once she donned a professional jersey.
You guys did not see it. Look at the price of these tickets. This is like right after the tickets went on sale. So no good seats. 1,000.
But from the moment she arrived on the WNBA scene, the narrative changed. Instead of dwindling, her popularity exploded into a force that transcends the traditional boundaries of sport. In her first professional outings, she demonstrated that the essence of her game wasn't just inherited from her college days, it was a complete evolution. Every move, every pass, and every shot was imbued with a confidence and brilliance that left even seasoned veterans in awe. Critics who once dismissed her as a flash in the pan were forced to reassess their assumptions. The sold-out games, the staggering ticket prices, and the record-breaking ratings all spoke to a larger trend. Caitlin was not merely a new player, she was a revolution. Her on-court heroics are reminiscent of the impact legends like Michael Jordan had on the NBA and Tiger Woods on the world of golf. Just as those icons transcended their sports to become cultural phenomena, so too is Caitlin Clark rewriting the playbook for women's basketball. Her influence isn't confined to the statistics or the victories. It's about transforming an entire league's perception and drawing in a whole new generation of fans. If you've ever tried to snag a seat at one of her games, you already know that the stakes are higher than ever. Ticket prices have surged to levels that many would never have imagined for a preseason matchup.
$142 for a not very good seat. I'm guessing 10 grand minimum courtside to go see Caitlin.
Early reports showed that the cost of attending one of these games could start at over $2,100 for seats that were far from courtside, with premium spots fetching prices in the vicinity of $10,000. These figures aren't just numbers on a ticket. They represent a seismic shift in the commercial landscape of women's basketball. In an era where even top-tier entertainment events compete for attention and dollars, the fact that a preseason game can command such high prices is astounding. It's as if the market has recognized that Caitlin Clark is the ultimate commercial asset. Sponsors and advertisers have been lining up, eager to attach their brands to the star whose draw is so undeniable that even the most conservative business models are forced to take notice. WNBA franchises, many of which have long struggled with limited fan engagement and tepid ticket sales, are now recalibrating their entire strategy. Some teams are even restructuring their schedules, moving key matchups to larger venues capable of accommodating tens of thousands of fans.
English hounding Clark. Clark, step back three, knocks it down!
From a business perspective, Caitlin Clark is a force of nature. The economics behind her draw are staggering. The inflated ticket prices, record-breaking merchandise sales, and unprecedented sponsorship deals all point to a seismic shift in the league's financial landscape. In previous seasons, teams struggled to attract large crowds and secure lucrative TV deals. Today, however, the narrative is different. The influx of cash isn't just beneficial for her team, the Indiana Fever, it's uplifting the entire league. With each game that sells out, the WNBA's visibility and market value increase. Teams across the league are now scrambling to adjust their season schedules, rethinking venue choices, and even reconsidering ticket pricing models. The game against the Brazilian national team, which disappeared from the market in mere hours, is a prime example of this new economic model in action. It isn't simply a matter of supply and demand. It's the emergence of a superstar who has fundamentally altered the equation. This financial upswing has caught the attention of investors, media companies, and sports franchises around the world. It's a reminder that talent, when combined with marketability, can generate an economic impact that transcends the sport itself. The influence of a single player like Caitlin Clark extends beyond the confines of the court, injecting new life into the WNBA and offering a blueprint for how women's sports can compete on the global stage. With the realization that Caitlin Clark's presence can transform a game, teams are now forced to rethink their strategies both on and off the court. Some franchises have even begun restructuring their game schedules to capitalize on her star power.
From contest.
And it's don't keep posting up, but you know who they go to. 22 from the outside. Oh, this is gonna happen quick on her team. Don't let this crowd.
Traditional venues that once hosted modest crowds are being replaced, or temporarily augmented, by larger arenas that can accommodate the influx of fans drawn by her name. For instance, a recent game saw the Mystics move their matchup against the Fever to an NBA-caliber arena, seating 20,000 fans, as opposed to the typical 4,200. Such decisions are not merely logistical. They reflect a strategic recalibration driven by market forces. When one player can bring in crowds that rival those of marquee NBA events, every facet of the game from ticket pricing to broadcasting rights must be revisited. The ripple effects of this shift are far-reaching, influencing not only the financial strategies of individual teams, but also the overall trajectory of the league. In boardrooms across the WNBA, executives are now discussing ideas that would have been unthinkable a decade ago. The realization is clear. To ride the wave of this historic transformation, the entire league must adapt. And the catalyst for this change is none other than the phenomenon that is Caitlin Clark. While the tangible benefits in terms of revenue and ticket sales are undeniably impressive, the cultural impact of Caitlin Clark's rise may well be her greatest legacy. Her influence transcends the confines of the sport, reaching into realms of social commentary, gender equality, and the evolution of sports media. For fans who have long felt marginalized by mainstream sports narratives, her success is a beacon of hope, a demonstration that women's basketball is more than a secondary attraction.
Like, you could pack out a football stadium again just to watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. You could pack out 50K. You could. Whatever the record is for a women's basketball game, you could set it to watch Caitlin Clark play.
Every sold-out game, every soaring statistic, and every headline is a testament to the transformative power of passion and talent. The league's struggles for visibility and recognition are now being rewritten by the narrative of a player who has not only redefined her own career, but also revitalized an entire sport. What was once seen as a niche league is now at the forefront of a movement that challenges conventional notions of athletic achievement and entertainment. Social media platforms are abuzz with clips of her jaw-dropping plays, viral challenges inspired by her signature moves, and endless debates about her potential to be one of the greatest players of all time. The conversation is no longer confined to sports analysts and die-hard fans. It has permeated popular culture, inspiring young athletes and capturing the imagination of millions around the globe. No conversation about Caitlin Clark would be complete without addressing the narrative that has arisen around a supposed rivalry with Angel Reese.
It's by the Sparks fans. 6 on the shot clock. Clark, a deep three.
Oop, that is.
She missed her first 7 and knocks that one down, and it's a big.
Over the past several months, media outlets and fans have speculated about the dynamic between these two athletes. While Reese's camp has consistently tried to frame their interactions as a high-stakes rivalry, the reality on the court tells a different story. For Angel Reese, the comparisons to Caitlin Clark have proven to be a double-edged sword. On one hand, the very attention that Reese sought by invoking Clark's name has placed her in a spotlight she never anticipated. On the other hand,